All right, Mr.Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? Yeah, I want to send some love to Brandon Ingram. Before we get into the basketball elements of this, we don't want to play around with blood clots. Blood clots are nothing to play with. Let me just say this. We lost Chris Bosh in regards to a Hall of Famer. His career is cut short. Ironically, another teammate of LeBron James to blood clots. We lost him a few years ago. That forced Chris Bosh into an early retirement, and he hates it. He can tell y'all he's retired and happy now. He hates that it took the game away from him. You know, no one wants the game taken away from him, and that's what that blood clot did. Now, I want to proceed with caution here because we don't know a lot about Brandon Ingram's blood clot as of yet. It's in his arm, so it's kind of different. I think Chris Bosh's was in his leg, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. It's a little bit different. He's going to miss the remainder of the season. The Lakers have officially shut him down due to a deep venous thrombosis in his right arm. Again, I reached out. Actually, I asked my girlfriend. My girlfriend's medical, right? So I asked my girlfriend, yo, how bad is this injury compared to Chris Bosh's blood clot that he had in his leg? She doesn't watch basketball. So I said, hey, one guy has a blood clot in his leg. It forced him to retire. The other guy in his arm. Is this the same injury? My girl's pretty smart. She told me, blood clot in the arm, that deep venous thrombosis, a little more treatable than what Chris Bosh had. And as long as, you know, he's young, as long as he's able to do the right process and, you know, fill his body up with the right stuff, he could very well be fine. Obviously, you want to proceed with caution. I think it's the right move to shut him down. I had plans on going on this platform and doing a video saying Brandon Ingram quit on the Lakers just like Lonzo Ball would. I stand by Lonzo Ball quitting on the Lakers, by the way. But I'm not going to do that. This is a real injury, a real thing. Luke Walton was asked over the weekend, yo, what do you know about this injury? He said, I'm still finding out stuff. Hopefully we find out more about it later today, and I'll come back and do a video. Brandon Ingram was been balling, man. After All-Star Weekend, 27.8 points a game on 57% shooting. His season's going to end with him averaging technically a career high 18 points a game and 5 rebounds. I thought for the most part, the first half of the season, he was off and on, average at best. You know, after LeBron went down with the groin injury, I thought it was a great opportunity for him to step up, him and Lonzo to play well and find themselves, you know, at the bare minimum, increasing their trade value. If not, increasing their value of who they are around the league. You got guys like De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley starting to figure it out, and other young Tandos around the league starting to figure it out, and I thought it was a great opportunity for Brandon Ingram because I do think he needs a guy that needs to have the basketball in his hands, right? And I thought this was a great opportunity. He pretty much dudded out with LeBron away from the team, and then once LeBron got back, and then the crowd in Indiana started saying LeBron's going to trade you, and the Lakers faced all the trade speculation and all that drama. Are they going to make the playoffs? I thought he balled out. He showed me something that I hadn't seen throughout his career thus far. That stretch in February was his best of his career thus far. Finally, we saw him play with some passion and some anger and, you know, some want and some desire to get to the basket. I ask anybody this question, what is Brandon Ingram great at, though? I still don't know what that guy is great at, but he showed me something. He showed me something. He used what he's good at, that length, those long legs. He used it to get to the rim, and he's tough. Once he gets inside, he's going to bang, you know? With all that being said, we wish him nothing but the best, but from a basketball standpoint, if Brandon Ingram wants to be a Laker, which I'm being told other, you'll see a video on that later. If he wants to be a Laker, this does help his situation. I doubt a team is going to trade for him this summer. Now, the Pelicans were having a hard time grasping the concept of him being the main piece in a Anthony Davis trade as is, let alone with this blood clot in his arm, potentially. I believe Brandon Ingram will be ready to go day one of the NBA season 2019-2020. But I also believe he'll be a Laker. I just think it'll be tough to trade him. I think the interest will be low in him. Look, you got to look at recent history. And Chris Bosh, yo, he came back from that blood clot one time. He thought he'd be, you know, after missing a year, thought he'd be ready to go. And that thing just kept lingering around. Just could never get a control of that thing. And by the way, Chris Bosh has a really good diet. Or at least as a player, he was really healthy. From what I knew, like, yo, the fact that that happened to a healthy guy, and Brandon Ingram was a super skinny guy. You know, like not a lot of weight on him, can't point to this. I don't know what his diet's like, but very concerning if you're a Laker fan. And I know Laker fans out there selfishly are like, yo, damn, we can't trade this guy. And you're right. You probably can't trade him this summer at least. But at bare minimum, you want to see him. First of all, you want to see the guy healthy. Second off, you want to see him at least able to play in a Laker uniform. The Lakers tanked for a year for this guy, right? Let's not forget the importance of we were bad for a year to get this guy in the draft, and to have a player taken away from him, taken away from this organization because of circumstances kind of out of their control. Let's call it what it is. It sucks, bruh. Like, if I'm an owner of a team, if I'm a general manager, bruh, to lose a number 2 pick that I had planned to build around or have him a part of a trade to help get my team better to go out there and ring, that's a disaster. And it's an unfortunate disaster that's, not something that anybody can control. But anywho, that is a complete disaster. The fact that this guy could just sit on your roster, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. The Lakers just better be thankful they didn't give him big money yet. You want to see this thing play out, and God, we want to pray for the guy that he gets back to 100%. But just from the basketball standpoint, if we could get to the point where we're talking basketball, because it's not life or death, it's just can he play or can he not play? That is an ultimate disaster for the Lakers heading to an offseason that is oh so important as they enter the first offseason during the LeBron James era. I thank you guys for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted. Again, check for another Brandon Ingram video later today. Got more news on Brandon Ingram. We won't be talking about the injury. We'll be talking about something else important around his career. He might not want to be a Laker for too much longer. I know this injury might factor into the situation. We'll talk about it later on today. Please stay tuned. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now,
Mr.Taliaferro.
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 Mr. Shout out to Mr.Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr.Taliaferro TV.
Mr.Taliaferro TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.